This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 1:15. Here is the news, edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Nilusha Jaimana, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. The President assures not to allow separatist terrorism or extremism. Government emphasizes its responsibility to penalize Easter Sunday attackers. Sand will be available soon at a reasonable price. Joint efforts are underway to douse the fire at Ravana L Forest Reserve. Foreign news. Pope Francis holds historic meeting with Iraq's top Shiite cleric. Sports news. Handball rule changed as football's lawmakers confirm new accidental ruling. Local news in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that Tamil separatist terrorism or Islam extremism will not be allowed to raise their heads in the country. All necessary steps have been taken in that regard. The President said since the government in power is responsible to punish those who were responsible to the Easter Sunday attacks, it will be properly done. The President mentioned this at the 13th Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program, which is now taking place at Veragala Maduragala ground of the Giribaba Divisional Secretariat area in Kurunagala. The President rejected allegations by these certain political parties that government is responsible for the Easter Sunday attacks. The commission was appointed by the previous Good Governance government. Since this is a national issue, the President requests all stakeholders not to link politics with it. The Cardinal has responsibility and pain for the Easter Sunday attack victims. Therefore, the President pointed out that it is responsible for the Cardinal to speak about it. The government cannot give capital punishment to various individuals by influencing the judiciary. President Rajapaksa said the government has no need to do so. He pointed out that it is the responsibility of the judiciary to hear the court cases about this incident and deliver judgments. Various groups and individuals are trying to carry false opinions to people. The President requests the public not to get misled by such falsehoods. Minister Mahinda Amaravera says that people will be given the opportunity soon to buy sand at a fair price. A presidential task force has been appointed to look to provide rocks, sand and earth expeditiously for development activities. The minister said the task force has made several recommendations to provide material needed for development while protecting the environment. A Bell 212 helicopter belonging to the Sri Lanka Air Force has been deployed to douse the fire at Ravana L Forest Reserve. The fire had broken out at the Ravana L Forest Reserve last evening. Wildlife officers, police and SLAF are currently engaged in the joint effort to control the flames. China has pledged its support to Sri Lanka at a UN Human Rights Council. China's Deputy Foreign Relations Minister Luo Xiao said that his country is prepared to support Sri Lanka at any international forum since it is a close friend. He has informed this when he met Sri Lanka's ambassador to China, Dr. Palitha Kohana. The meeting took place at Sri Lanka Embassy in Beijing. He has also assured the support to control the pandemic and for development of the tourism sector in Sri Lanka. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
Continuing with more local news, Nearly 12 persons have sustained injuries after a bus fell over into a paddy field at Halpe area in Bandarwala this morning. Police said a Colombo-bound bus which departed from Badulla had veered off the road and toppled into the paddy field. The injured passengers have been admitted to the Damodara Hospital and Badulla General Hospital. Police are conducting further investigations into the accident. An individual has been killed in a hit-and-run accident on the Marine Drive at Vallavata this morning, while 3 others sustained injuries. The vehicle had been driven by a man who was returning from a nightclub along with another person. It was revealed that both of them were under the influence of alcohol at the time. Police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said the car had initially collided with a motorbicycle and fled the scene. 3 other persons were also subsequently hit by the vehicle on the run. The drunk driver and the passenger were later taken into custody by the Vallavata police along with the vehicle. Minister Douglas Devananda has expressed confidence that government will not take steps to bury the bodies of those who died due to the COVID-19 in Iranathivu. He said that attention of the President and Prime Minister has been drawn to situation of the people in Iranathivu. This was stated by Minister Douglas Devananda at a District Development Coordinating Committee meeting held in Kilnochi yesterday. The Northern Provincial Director of Health Services, Dr. A. Katiswaran, said 20 people have been confirmed to be infected with COVID virus in the Northern Province. 12 have been identified in Mana and 8 in Jaffna districts. They were identified during 457 PCR tests conducted at the Jaffna Teaching Hospital yesterday. Dr. A. Katiswaran further stated that no infected persons were identified from 304 PCR tests conducted yesterday at the Jaffna University Medical Faculty Laboratory. That ends local news.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Health Minister said COVID-19 vaccines that are to be received tomorrow under the COVAX program of the World Health Organization would be administered to persons above 60 years living in high-risk areas. This consignment will be the first batch of vaccines granted by the WHO under COVAX facility. 264,000 doses are to be received. The WHO is to provide a total of 1.44 million doses. The total of doses of vaccines are expected to be delivered to Sri Lanka by the end of May. The WHO has declared that about 25% of Sri Lankan population would receive the vaccine under COVAX program. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, people in the area say that they are facing numerous hardships due to the lack of bus halt in Ahungalda town. People said that they are severely inconvenienced on rainy days and on hot sunny days. They pointed out that non-availability of the bus halt with a roof is a major shortcoming at the junction in a main town. They request the Road Passenger Transport Authority to provide a solution to this problem.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Pope Francis holds historic meeting with Iraq's top Shiite cleric. Myanmar forces fire tear gas and stun grenades on protesters. Indian farmers block highway outside Delhi to mark 100th day of protests. World News in detail. Pope Francis began a historic meeting with Iraq's top Shiite cleric Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani today, in a powerful appeal for coexistence in the land torn by sectarianism and violence. Francis' meeting in the holy southern city of Najaf during a whirlwind and risky tour of Iraq marked the first time a pope has met with such a senior Shiite cleric. Myanmar security forces used tear gas and stun grenades to break up a protest in Yangon today, just hours after United Nations Special Envoy called on Security Council to take action against the ruling junta for the killings of protesters. Sporadic protests were staged across Myanmar today, and local media reported that police fired tear gas, shells and stun grenades to break up a protest in Yangon. There were no reports of casualties. Indian farmers began gathering today to block a 6-lane expressway outside New Delhi to mark the 100th day of protests against deregulation of agricultural markets to add pressure on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Farmers, young and old, headed in cars, trucks and tractors to the highway for a 5-hour roadblock to oppose 3 farm laws enacted in September 2020. They say hurt them by opening up the agriculture sector to private players. The Berlin Film Festival has awarded its first ever gender-neutral acting prize to Maren Eggert. The new award, which was announced by the festival last August, means both male and female actors now compete in the same category. Berlin's decision to merge the categories could have a knock-on effect on other film award ceremonies. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Pope Francis holds historic meeting with Iraq's top Shiite cleric. Myanmar forces fire tear gas and stun grenades on protesters. Indian farmers block highway outside Delhi to mark 100th day of protests. That ends world news.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Live Year along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
The foundation stone was laid for Sri Lanka's first liquid natural gas power plant yesterday under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. It will be built at Keravalapitia Yugadhanau power plant premises. It is the first power plant that will be built after 2013. The Prime Minister said that the power plant will add 300 megawatts of power to the national grid, and the aim of the government is to develop renewable energy as the country's main energy source. That ends Development News.
Development News was brought to you by Live Year along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
Moving on to sports news, football's lawmakers say accidental handball that will lead to a goal scoring chance or a goal for a teammate will no longer be penalized. IFAB confirmed the change yesterday, saying it was because of the interpretation of handball incidents not being applied consistently. IFAB is also looking at a possible change to the law regarding offsides. Rugby news, Australia's offer to host its summer's British and Irish Lions tour has been turned down by the Lions board. The Lions are due to visit South Africa in July and August with a 3-test series against the world champions. Rugby Australia had bid in January to host the series, with a pledge to have capacity crowd at the test matches. Athletics news, Britain Mo Farah opened up his Olympic season with victory in the inaugural Djibouti half marathon. The 37-year-old, who will defend his 10,000-meter title for the second time in Tokyo this summer, won in 63 minutes and 7 seconds. This was the first time Farah had raced since winning the Antrim Coast half marathon on 12th of September. Cricket news, the fourth test of the England tour of India is underway for the third day at Ahmedabad today. Batting first, England scored 205 in their first innings. In reply, India scored 365 in their first innings. England was 30 for 4 wickets in their second innings a short while ago. That ends sports news.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
NDB and the Norwegian Development Finance Institution, NoFund, have reached an agreement for NoFund to invest up to 9.99% in National Development Bank. Under this agreement, NoFund will participate in the rights issue for 8 billion rupees that NDB has already announced by way of subscribing to unsubscribed rights and also by way of private placement if required. This investment is subject to other conditions, including regulator and shareholders' approvals. That ends business news.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman said Sri Lankan economy is still recovering from the downturn caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. He said it is important to take the economy out of COVID-19 pandemic situation and subsequently work towards the growth of the economy and investment promotion. Professor Lakshman also emphasized the need to channel bank credit towards sectors that could generate high growth and sectors that have potential but are still underfunded. He said old debt service obligations of the government have been duly met thus far in 2021, and the government remains committed to maintain its impeccable debt service record in the future as well. That ends economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, on to the weather report. The Met Department says showers at times will occur in northern, north central, eastern and Uber provinces and in Mathali and Hambantota districts. Fairly heavy falls above 50 mm can be expected at some places in eastern and Ubud provinces and in Polonnaruwa and Mathal districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening or night. Heavy falls above 100 meters can be expected. 100 millimeters can be expected at some places. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamu and western provinces during the morning. That ends the weather report. To bring to an end the afternoon news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The President assures not to allow separatist terrorism or extremism. Government emphasizes its responsibility to penalize Easter Sunday attackers. Sand will be available soon at a reasonable price. Joint efforts are underway to douse the fire at Ravana Elder Forest Reserve. Foreign news, Pope Francis holds historic meeting with Iraq's top Shiite cleric. Sports news, handball rule changed as football lawmakers confirm new accidental ruling. With that, we bring to an end the afternoon news broadcast and back to my good friend and viewers, Niranjan Abesundara.